427. Balik rumah gua kah?
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Yep.
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
Oke semuanya, balik lagi dengan gua Dex Tomber. Kali ini kita bakal memainkan game baru yang berjudulkan The Stanley Parable Deluxe Edition. Deluxe Edition cuy ya. Dan ya, ini game kalau nggak salah beberapa tahun yang lalu udah ada. Cuman di remake teman-teman, dibikin Deluxe Editionnya teman-teman. Dan jadi buat kalian yang pesuka game Luminal, apa namanya sih? Luminal kalau nggak salah ya, gue lupa tuh. Game ini mirip-mirip cuy, kayak mainan otak lah ya. Jadi ya, gue udah gak sabar ingin memainkan game satu ini cuy. Jadi kita main biasa aja. English ya. Confirm. Sip. You have played The Stanley Parable before? Tuh ditanyain cuy ya. Gue gak pernah main untuk yang pertama, jadi kita bilang no aja. Takutnya nanti informasinya di skip-skip gitu cuy. Untuk brightness, visible-nya sampai komputer kelihatan. Gini kali ya kalian ya. Nah di sini cuy, harusnya kelihatan komputernya nih. Sip, confirm. Please enter the current time. Apa nih minta waktu nih? Sekarang jam 1. Adem mas, panas mas. Oh ya adem. Berarti jam 1. Jam 1 lebih 46 menit. Sip. Berarti 47 ya. Gila. PM coy ini, PM. Kok PM sih, panas mas itu? AM lah. Kenapa? PM tuh pagi gak sih? Siang gak sih? PM tuh panas mas. Adem mas berarti, ya bener. Adem mas berarti 41 ya. Gua ngapainnya gitu cuy masalahnya. Nah 146 adem mas ya. Kenapa nggak pakai jam-jam biasa gitu loh? 47 deh. Terlebihkan 1 cuy. Sip. Confirm jam 1 pagi gua record guys. Accessibility setting can be accessed from the main menu. Oke. Jadi kita bisa setting di main menu cuy. Kayaknya bakal berhubungan sama waktu-waktu si keren sih. Gue bakal... Oh, kayak perkantoran gitu ya. Oke. Begin the game. Oh kan, mirip-mirip sama Superliminal kan guys ya. Nah, nama judulnya Superliminal yang dulu guys kita mainin. Gue pindah ke... Nah, hehehe. Pindah ke sebelah kiri cuy. Biar lebih enak tampilannya teman-teman. Let's go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
Every day?
And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Happy? Kalian happy kan
And then
kerja
one
kayak gitu
day,
guys?
something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
Wow.
Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions,
Nggak ada orang.
call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he
Wow.
came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oke. Wow, bentar. Sensitivitasnya terlalu tinggi teman-teman. Gue kurangin dulu. Kayaknya terlalu tinggi ya. Sip. Nah ini cocok nih. Iya sih, kalau gue lihat-lihat kayaknya emang lu udah kelamaan di tempat ini sih. Tuh lihat cuy, kopinya sampai kerak kayaknya tuh. Wow. Kalian pengen kah kerja kayak gitu guys? Kerja pagi, malam, klak klik 24 jam. Wow. Jam berapa ini? Oh, gak sesuai. Hehehe. Ini terlalu kenceng apa gimana sih? Kayaknya terlalu kenceng deh cuy. Field of view-nya, oh terlalu itu guys. Sensitivitasnya gini aja. Yep. Oke, emang kenceng
All
jalannya.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wow. Nggak, emang kayaknya lu tinggal sendiri di sana
No
deh.
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ini apa? Bang, ini apa bang? Oke, teman-teman. Oke. Sepi amat tempat ini cuy. Halo bang, misi bang. Ini gua nggak ada pilihan lagi nih, nggak ada customer masuk atau gimana bang? Tuh ada jalan keluar cuy. Kita disuruh ke tempat meeting. Meeting di mana bang? Gua nggak tahu bang. Nggak pernah keluar nih gua nih. Surname access. Access. Ada apa access? Gak bisa gue buka. Tuh mereka kayak ninggalin gue gitu loh. Main itu tuh. Kalian tahu ini gak guys? Permainan yang apa namanya? Kartu tapi gambarnya laba-laba cuy. Dulu waktu kecil pernah main gitu gue tuh. Di SD. Pas jam-jam mata pelajaran komputer gitu kan. Main gitu. Oke, kosong banget tempatnya cuy. Bos. Kamu mana bos? Aku udah tinggal sendiri nih bos. Sales in the quarter. Penesisi. Ush, apa itu gambar apa? Gue mungkin kalau presentasi kayak gitu tuh guys. Gue kasih gambar-gambar kali guys.
When
Oke.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Left. Kenapa lu nyuruh gue masuk ke gerbang yang kiri? Kenapa nggak yang kanan? Boleh gak?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Wah pinter sih bikin kata-katanya nih. Katanya gue salah jalan dan pengen ngelakuin hal lain dulu. Oke. Tuh masih pada nyala komputernya cuy. Iya gue ditinggalin ini. Wah di prank. Bos ini pranknya bos ya? Kayaknya prank sih cuy ini. Bos.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Drinking it all in.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yap, worth it banget. Aku diem kok nontonin gambar-gambar ini, worth it kok.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible, but at last he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Wah, gue suka banget nih tipe game yang kayak gini nih. Naratornya tuh aktif banget naratornya cuy. Oke. Creepy amat. Gue bisa ke depan sana juga. Bos.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Gue mau ke sebelah tadi. No. Oke, ada kopi di sini. Suara keyboard gue, guys. Oke, bisa lompat? Nggak bisa lompat, teman-teman. Wah, gila. Oke, itu ada di sana ada apa-apa. Oke. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is moving. Nggak boleh lompat. Bisa menyebabkan kematian. Siapa juga yang mau lompat? Penalty issue of cargo lift $1,000. Penalty for jumping of the cargo. Lompat dan mati dapat penalti juga cuy.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Dipuji, disarkasin gitu teman-teman. Lah, balik ke sini lagi.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay,
What
okay.
could it mean?
Gas.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Ending
missed a
pertama ya.
memo.
Kita ke meeting room cuy. Let's go, gue udah tahu jalan.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the
Yep.
meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just
Yep.
to admire it.
Yap, udah nyampe.
Wow, yes, this room.
This room.
But eager to get back to business,
Yep.
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
His left. Aha. Nggak, gue mau lurus aja.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh, kita tadi tuh disuruh ke kiri teman-teman, tapi kita malah nggak tahu jalan ya. Yang dimana kita tadi pertama disuruh ke kiri, kita kanan. Kita suruh kiri lagi, kita kanan lagi teman-teman. Kayak Zoro nih jadinya. Wow, keren sih. Gue suka game kayak gini cuy. Ih, puntung rokok di mana-mana. Kita udah lompat tadi ya, dapat $5.000 kita. Dikatain kamu sangat hebat,
Look,
kamu
Stanley,
kuat.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Wait, what? Katanya
This is it,
Stanley,
Stanley.
please.
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
Hah?
She's been waiting.
Katanya kita nggak boleh memilih jalan kita sendiri cuy, harus ngikutin dia katanya. Ntar dulu nih, gua awal-awal harus pura-pura nolak cerita nih. Oke, itu depan ngeri banget, tempat apa? Dan dia ngomong her. Siapa her? Gua nggak pernah kemana-mana masalahnya. Berhari-hari gue cuma ngetik-ngetik doang cuy.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Pick up phone. Gimana caranya? Bentar. Cara pick up the phone gimana nih? Kontrol. Gak ada pilihannya Oh, pencet E. Pencet E teman-teman. Kita bakal menjawab teleponnya dia. Terus apa yang terjadi teman-teman? Putih. Oh, 427. Balik rumah gua kah?
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Yep.
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Sini ada apa?
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Wow, kali ini dia nolak cuy. Gue pengen lewat sini nggak boleh teman-teman. Gimana? Kalian suka gak game kayak gini cuy? Gue suka banget sih. Halo, Missy. Istri gue nih.
This is a very
Gua ada
sad
rambutnya.
story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Lah, mau dibunuh gue. Good morning, employee. Press C on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him. And every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Oke. Gua katanya nggak eksis. B.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Please Press U.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From
Okay.
behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Key to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
Wah, hilang
The
semua, tinggal
thought
gua kah?
excited him terribly.
Spend time with the boys. V.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Wah, diceritain doang.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and
Nih,
destinations.
apa gue yang
Down
baru
one
ngeliat yang
path
agak
lay an
berdebu
enormous
sekarang.
round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Lu ngomongin gua kah? To tell your kid story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Oh, kita bilang ke
But
sedikit.
there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has.
Lah, kantor gua
Nothing
pindah
has
ke sini.
changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Oke. To go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world, he can never be anything but an observer.
Oh,
That
tentang
as long
kematian
as he
kita,
remains
yes.
here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Oke. Dia nyuruh gua nggak boleh pencet sama sekali. Tapi gua nolak.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. And I don't make the rules. I simply play
Kali
to
ini
my
kita coba untuk
intended
menolak dia, guys, ya.
purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
Kenapa?
And I
Kenapa?
tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I
Mati Stanley cuy.